Hey, yo, guys, what's up? It's Mikey from Fight From Within. You're listening to Music Existence with Jake.
Welcome to another instance of music existence, where because of music, we exist. My guest today is Mikey Hayes from Fight From Within. They've been at it since 2021. They come out with the album Talk Is Cheap. They've been together through so much. Now they have a new single out and an EP called Let Me Out. Let's talk about it, Mikey. Glad to have you on, man.
What's going on? How's it going?
Man, it's been awesome. It's just great to connect with you. Even before this interview, we established a little bit of, you know, goings on of where we're from, and it's been great.
Yeah.
And I see that you're from Syracuse, and I'm actually from Westchester originally.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I was actually born and raised in Utica.
Oh yeah.
That's where I'm from originally. I moved out to Syracuse in like 2018. I live in Louisville, Kentucky now. But
Oh, cool. Louisville. That's
yeah.
another scene entirely. Like a lot of 90s bands were from the Louisville scene, like Rodan and Retson and all that.
Oh
That's
yeah.
like,
I'm
yeah, more math rock kind of
There's
stuff.
actually a booming hardcore scene here now. Like the hardcore scene here is really good. I mean, Knock Loose came out of here, so they've basically blown up the
Yeah.
entire radius
And a
over
lot
here.
of that I noticed is kind of rooted back in that 90s scene. A lot of those indie bands like had a melodic side but sort of moved toward a heavier side, and then eventually that kind of, it's weird how it like became more metallic over time.
Yeah, I mean, like Knock Loose is I feel like they take a lot of inspiration from a really older band called The Warriors. It's an old
Hmm.
hardcore band back in the day. The vocals are extremely similar, and I always compared Knock Loose to like The Warriors, but with like metalcore tuning, you know?
Pretty cool. And
Yeah.
take it back to your influences and how you grew up around those
Mhm.
sounds. Did it start out rock and then go into heaviness, or straight up heaviness?
Yeah, I mean, actually, so like I feel like everything started as far as like me being a vocalist, everything started with Chad Gray from Mudvayne, which was really
Okay.
cool because I got to meet him at Louder this year when we played, and we got to talk. So it was really cool being able to be like, "Hey, man, like if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even fucking be here, right?" But like I remember they released LD50 Live in Peoria. It's a DVD, and my mom got it me for Christmas. And like the next 2 years of her life was hearing me try to mimic Chad and all his vocals, right? So it's like, God bless her for dealing with that.
Oh
um,
man.
you know, but yeah, dude, I would say it kind of started there, and then like I got into like the new metal stuff really
Hmm.
early, like Korn, Mudvayne, Slipknot, all those Ozfest bands that are crossbreed. Shout out to James, a homie. Just all these bands, and then I started at some point. I started listening to a band called Hatebreed,
Yeah.
and and they were not only a band that could go out and tour with like Korn, right? They go out and tour with like Bury Your Dead and all that shit. And I ended up going to a hardcore show in I think it was outside of Boston when I was a kid. I was probably not even 17 yet, and I got to witness like the two-step culture, right? And like the swinging stuff because I saw a band called Bury Your Dead who's like that turned in Matt Brusso from Bury Your Dead kind of turned into my next like, oh, I love that guy. That's kind of what I want to go for. And like I saw all the swinging from the slam dancing, moshing going on, and I was like, dude, I want to fucking be a part of all this, right? So I ended up catching my like most gnarliest war wound at the same show because I didn't really know how to act. So I ended up getting on stage to stage dive, and the guitarist punches me in the chest, and then Jasta grabs a hold of me and like throws me into the crowd. as like a stage dive, and I just jump in the pit and start swinging my arms, and I catch the gnarliest elbow to the eye, split my shit completely open, blood running down my face. My uncle brought me to the show, right? So like I go up to him drenched in blood, and my uncle's like, "Oh my God, your mom's gonna fucking kill me," and I was hooked. Like, and from that moment on, I was hooked, and that kind of bled me into bands like and the Acacia Strain and like As This Body I Exist and Impending Doom and Attila and all types of shit growing up. And that's when I was like, I saw the Acacia Strain and Vinny's like my stage presence idol.
The
I
thing that
love
I
that man.
like, yeah, it's so cool. The thing that, I mean, of course, your resilience plays in to
Yeah.
it all. Um, did you recover pretty fast? Did you end up like going to the hospital or?
Oh yeah, I got stitches, I think,
Uh,
in my eyebrow. I still have a gnarly scar. I tell everybody I was like, this is my first experience with like hardcore music, and I got split wide open.
but of course, you were probably like just delirious and
Oh, I was exhilarated.
inspired.
Yeah, honestly, more than anything, I was so pumped because I was
Probably
bleeding.
like the adrenaline kind of
Oh
bled
yeah,
through you and sweat through you in such a way that your your positivity allowed you to just like, fight the good fight. And that's
yeah.
pretty much all it's been.
All I
Um,
knew is after what when it was going on and I was watching all of it my first time, I just wanted to be involved. That's
cause
all I know. Yeah.
cause you went through like a bit of that recently, didn't you have like an injury before and
Oh
then
yeah, yeah. So 2 years ago at Louder Than Life, I was moshing for a band called Better Lovers. A lot of the members used to be in Every Time I Die. They're from like the Buffalo area, where I
yeah.
like in New York. That's where I'm from. So I tried to go show my respect. I got a little crazy, and I got some push pitter like just went into the side of my knee and tore my ACL. And I didn't think much about it. I felt like the old rubber band pop, right? That everyone
Yeah.
talks about when you tear a tendon. And I didn't really like. I was, a big old dumb man about it. Look, I don't need to take care of this, right?
Oh man,
Yeah.
and
And
this
so
is
like,
like the most non-sports injury too, because you all
yeah.
get torn ACLs in basketball, but this
Yeah.
was moshing. This was a
Hey, moshing's a
moshing.
sport, man. Nah, but like, so I ended up just going on this torn ACL for like 2 years, right? And every now and then my leg would give out, and I would, I'd take a stumble or whatever, and I'd be out of commission for like a couple hours.
Are you
But on,
crutches or wheels? Because I'm
not
wheels,
anymore.
man. I'm all wheels.
Okay,
I'm
all right. Nah, I'm back. I'm back up without the crutches now. I have a brace that I can use. I'm walking again. But in New Year's, I ended up taking a really bad fall because my knee gave out again. And when I did, I bent it back too far where it ripped up my meniscus out of my knee too. And then, so like 2 weeks ago, I had to get complete ACL replacement and meniscus fix. So
Yeah, you still find your community anyways.
yeah,
there's still like uh, wheelies that are up in the crowds, crowd surfing. You're
yeah.
gonna find your people anyway.
Oh, dude, I full well knew I was about to go on tour in April and still got my surgery. And I'm like, hey, man, if I got to jump into a wheelchair and perform, it is what it is.
Yeah, I know. And man, there's a lot in terms of inaccessibility and crowd shows. So
Mm.
like if you ever like find any of us who can't go to shows, just because of that, like find us, fight for us, you know.
There's no reason why you guys can't get to a show. If there's no ramp, I mean, everyone on my team will just carry you up the stairs.
That's good, man. That's good,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I've been dealing with this from birth, CP is
Mhm.
it's a monster, but you weed out all the bullshitters in your life,
Mhm.
man, and that's how it goes.
Yep.
So, so taking you back into your history a bit, you self-rescue mission, was
Yeah,
that
that
your
was our
first
first
song?
song. That was like we're an entirely different band now. Like that was like the first track that we did. So like a little history on the band. Um, we started as a four piece, and it was with it was just a bunch of homies at that time. But I told everybody when we started it, I'm like, listen, I was a video game streamer, so I understood how to get reach on social media and grow and do digital marketing. So I told the guys, I was like, hey man, this isn't a joke. I plan on getting us touring by next year, right? And everybody was like, oh, bless his heart, da da da. Well, I did it, right? And it came like a trial and error kind of thing of like guys that wanted to do it and guys that just said they wanted to do it, because it's really hard to like leave your city and not go to work and all this other shit. And I feel like a lot of people say they want to be in a band and they want to tour, and they forget that like eventually you have to set yourself up as like an entrepreneur, because you're not going to be able to have a 9 to 5. Like, you're not going to be able to do all these normal things that us as human beings have to do to take care of our economic stance, because like that's just the way it is, man.
It's
Like
so
it's
spontaneous, man. It's so
mhm.
like last minute prep, you
You
know?
got to jump. You got to
Yeah.
eventually you got to jump, and it's going to be a lot of sacrifice, but it's not like you can't compensate it for it, cuz like I was a drug counselor and a bartender, and I quit my jobs basically the same week I knew we were going to start doing stuff, and I just started door dashing. Like, there's plenty of opportunities out there where you can set yourself up to make money yourself, to put yourself forward in the industry. Um, and now, ever since then, I made it a precedent to, make content and make money on social media. And now I'm a booking agent and a band manager and all sorts of stuff. Now I make all my money in the industry, right? And that's kind of what everybody has to do if they're looking to make this their career. They got to understand that they're not going to get a giant paycheck from their band. They need to figure out how they're going to get in their paycheck, how they're going to get a paycheck before their band starts even putting money in their pocket, because like the first job of your band is to become self-sustainable, not to pay you,
Yeah,
right? You want your
because
band to pay for
yeah,
itself.
when you first start out, that's always part of it, you know. You have your band, that's like, the star on the Christmas tree, and then everything else is the ornaments, the
Yeah.
things that build up slowly over time.
Yeah, and it's your front of house too, and your back of house. Like, when you start a band and you want to do everything that a band does that's on a label, and you call yourself DIY, you don't get to cut corners. You have to do everything that a label would do for you, right?
Yeah,
Don't say, "Oh, we're a DIY band." Well, if you're not doing everything that a label would do for you, because that's what you need to succeed in the industry, then you're not DIY, because
yeah,
there
yeah,
is no cutting corners. Like, you have to do digital marketing. You have to keep up with your socials. You have to make sure you're a business, right? You have to make sure you're at least LLC'd, your taxes are taken care of, right? Everybody has to be involved in this in a business venture, not just like a passion project.
right. That's always what you have to consider, and it's been really good, like just knowing people who have like not only those skills but that expertise that can be like really resourceful, because then you're able to, if you don't know something, you're able to bounce knowledge off of each other.
Yeah. I mean, that's my job essentially now, right? I'm a
Yeah.
booking agent, but I also help bands with growth and management and getting their P's and Q's in order. So like, again, that's something that I've invested in myself and research to be able to create independent wealth for myself to chase my dreams. And that's like one of the biggest things I push for artists, is be like, hey man, you got to figure out what you're good at and monetize it.
Mm-hmm. That's the way of the world, and a
Hmm.
testament to that is somebody showed you, word on the street is Talk is Cheap appearing in Tower Records.
Oh yeah, dude, it's so sick. But that's part of the thing. Like, dude, we invested in like actual physical distribution, right?
I
That's
love
not
that.
you have to, that's not, a lot of people aren't going to be able to do that themselves, right? Because you got to
Yeah,
get stuff all over the country. So the only viable way to do it where it's going to go into stores is you have to make a deal with a label of some kind, a distribution label. So we worked with Virgin Records for our album, and through those connections, we were able to send our music all over the world, right? And
yeah,
it didn't take us like, it's not like we had to be in a special cool kids club to get it. You just got to talk to people.
yeah. But that is like it's a lost art, man, because you know the Japanese audience is still focuses on physical, and
Hmm.
meanwhile, I think we've sort of forgot how valuable that is to have physical media because God forbid servers shut down. Look what happened to MySpace. Look at all the indie bands, indie duos,
Hmm.
trios that put out like forgotten singles. Like,
Yeah,
like
if they didn't move them to YouTube, they're gone now.
yeah, 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 because when Rupert Murdoch bought MySpace, all the music servers shut down. And I think because my brother still had a couple of songs from all these forgotten indie bands
Hmm.
on like his hard drive still, like I was able to post one of them because I have an archive channel
Yeah.
of forgotten gems, from yesteryear or whatever. And people were like, "Do you have any more stuff from
Yeah.
Ninjas in My Closet or whatever?" And I'm like, "No, that's the only one."
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but it's so cool to see like your evolution as a band and how you market yourself. You set your music to a compilation of skate bales and BMX bales, and that's really cool
Yeah.
because it does have like a skater element to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's kind of, what we it's kind of the industry at this point. They're called impact reels, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's someone falling off a BMX bike and hitting a rail, or someone's getting hit in the balls with a pipe wrench, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's just how you do with it. It becomes important to, you got to remember that everything's oversaturated, and a lot of people, they like to be like, oh well, memes, I don't want to be a meme band. It's not, you're not I'm about making money. I don't know if anybody knows this, but if you create content, you get paid, right? So
Right.
like, it's not only is it getting your music out, right, but it's also creating a source of passive income, and it's creating engagement. And if you don't have those things, you can't really expect to grow, right? And
Right.
I do get arguments from people that, like, so like, perfect example, two bands that are huge right now that have been grinding their ass off and I'm super proud of are like Boundaries and Orthodox, right?
Right.
They don't have to go the crazy meme social media engagement route, because like they still do socials. Like, you'll see their socials got stuff up there getting good engagement. And I get the argument that people are like, oh, well, those bands didn't have to do it. Why do I? I think people forget those bands have been grinding for almost 15 years, right? This is
Hmm.
not like that. It's not like Boundaries and Orthodox came out of nowhere. They've been hustling forever, right?
Yeah.
So, it's not, it's a longevity thing in my opinion. It's, yeah, I could sit here with my band and I could hustle like they did, and playing new venues, grinding up your guarantees, to make more and more, or you can utilize the internet and start hitting those strides in 5 years rather than 13,
Yeah,
right?
and another component to that is just not only with being taken seriously because it's so indifferent. Like you can spend years and then have everyone just be like complete cold, just crickets. But then, that community hits you when you least expect it. One goes to two, two goes to four, two,
Mhm.
and it keeps growing. It might not be something like that overnight, but it's not just people who like your music, it's people who are resourceful. And like you said,
Mhm.
you go to Tower Records, it wasn't there just like, yeah, Japan celebrating physical media. It was knowing the right people who you can talk to and say, like, yeah, this
Yeah.
is it.
Yeah, I mean, we have our music everywhere. So, the more people listen to it, the more people buy, we get a return from it. It's not crazy, especially when you work with a distributor and they're paying for everything basically, and then they're paying for the shipping to get it other places. It's not an awesome return, but you're getting your music out places, right? So,
Yeah. And more on the music front, I mean, I saw you on local band Smokeout.
mhm.
That was kind of like the sort of an early kind of
Yeah,
proof.
we've been fucking with those guys for years.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I know they were really close with like Jordan Blake, for
yeah,
instance. Yeah, oh man.
yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool guys out there doing a lot of that stuff, man. Nasty Promotions. I mean, the list goes on and on of guys that just focus on getting people's music out and heard. And like that's honestly like the backbone of the scene is people like for me, I got to perform with uh the Acacia Strain at Incarceration, and Vinny let me come up and do Beast on stage with them, which was like probably the coolest thing I've ever done. And after he was like, "Hey man, dude, just make sure that like you're always giving back to people, right?
Yeah.
That's like the number one thing as long as you go that you're always going giving back." And ever since that day, I've kind of made that my priority, right? So if
The,
everybody does that and we're all sitting out here hustling and we're always giving back, then there's not really a way we can lose. Like I'm really about the whole teamwork. Everything that people talk about on Facebook, oh, we got to be a team and a family. Yeah, you can type words on the internet. That's sick,
yeah.
right? But like, are you actually doing it? Are you actually going out of your way to help people? Are you actually getting involved with your local scene? Are you actually going out and supporting shows? Are you actually sharing stuff out? Right? Are you actually doing the work? Because a lot of people they're like, oh well, I'm going to focus on me and mine, and that's basically it. And you can't really do that.
Yeah. Um, I mean, that's really cool that you've got that community like down pat to a point where when you say you're all together, you really are. And then from that, I start seeing a lot of familiar faces. Like I notice that we have a bunch of mutuals in common.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're in the metal industry, we're probably friends and mutuals.
Yeah. Well, I guess I worked with the same publicist. Shauna's been
Shauna,
always been. She is
she's
so,
a gem.
yeah, straight up. Like she's like always like, Jake, check out this artist or check out this band. They have a great story. You'll love their story. You'll love getting to know this person. Like, and I'm full of gratitude for
Hmm.
Shauna. Shouts
Yeah,
out to
she's awesome.
Shauna.
Yeah, shout out to Shauna always.
Yeah, and you mentioned like a bit about your influences, Mudvayne, Corn, and like a lot of that comes across on the material for Talk is Cheap, like
Yeah.
in Abort, like I definitely hear like a lot of that Corn, like Life is Peachy kind of influence.
Yeah, it went. Abort was like definitely a new metal inspired song, like Slipknot, Korn. Definitely, yeah, it was definitely we. That's the route we wanted to take. So it was good. We did a lot of different shit on the album. We got technical stuff, regular bouncy metalcore, new metalcore. We got some rap influenced stuff. We got straight hardcore, beat down metalcore kind of stuff going on, and I mean that's we've never really coined ourselves to a certain demo, right? Like
Right.
some bands are like you like they're beat down metalcore and that's all they do. Then you got new metalcore and that's all they do, or they take some inspiration on that. We kind of just do what we like.
Yeah.
We kind of just do what we're feeling. Um, I would say over the last 3 years, we've been predominantly leaning into heavier stuff.
Mm.
So, some of our music had cleans for a while, and then we were like, ah. I mean, I like it. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like we haven't found. We had cool songs with cleans and shit. I just don't think we found anything breakthrough yet as far as like choruses and blending and you know what I mean. So I don't know. We're just doing what
Yeah,
we're having fun with, and it works.
I
So
think
that's it.
a good component to your sound, especially your new single, Let Me Out, is like so many people are under the impression that the lower you go tone wise, like if you're down tuned and if you're heavy,
Yeah.
it's like you sort of forget what melodies are. But then when you get to the chorus of Let Me Out, you're still like you're still knowledgeable and very like cognizant of like melody too. There's a
Yeah.
lot of
Well, look at
melody in
look
that
at
chorus.
Counterparts.
Yeah,
Counterparts has like, very like beautiful guitars, man, and very technical stuff and
yeah,
and super emotional and rhythm based.
yeah,
But their music is so fucking tough. You know
yeah.
what I mean? It's so a bit like Comeback Kid. Comeback
Yeah,
Kids, they're using primarily like more hardcore punk tuning, but the drops, and the
yeah,
breakdowns are so heavy. I
yeah,
like I feel like heavy is a feeling, not a tuning, right? Because
yeah,
like
yeah,
you look at Lorna Shore and people are like, yo, they're so fucking heavy, right?
yeah,
It's just so heavy for me is like people will be like, oh, Into the Hellfire. Heavy for me is like Heavy Steps by Comeback Kid,
yeah,
right? So like it's just it's like I think it's more like a mood thing for me,
yeah, because
right? Rather than the
yeah,
tuning and production.
you can still because you can still find a lot of melody, like even when you down tune your guitars, like the chords are still like very resonant. You think
Mhm.
just because you're playing in drop F sharp that you won't even register anything beyond the root note, but there's still a lot to go on.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Oh my God. Yeah, I got a whole ass meeting right now happening behind me. Where I got all my guys in my entire agency is all in a meeting and they're just hanging out. I'm just spying on them.
Oh man. Well, that's
But
good, man.
but yeah, dude, I've had a lot of cool things, happen over the last few years. The band is doing well. I've taken a primary amount of my focus and put it into my business, for the most part. So we still got a lot of cool shit coming. My guys are super pumped. We have some stuff that's not announced yet that we're doing very soon, which is very sick. Uh, so yeah, man, everything's been dope over here.
Yeah, so like talk about thematically, we talked about stylistically. Now talk about like thematically the progression that you've experienced, especially when it comes to your new stuff and like getting Let Me Out in the open.
Yeah, I mean, our sound, we've been kind of catering to what our sound is, but also going to, and taking new leaps on different music, kind of like whatever we like. Thematically, we've always kind of themed ourselves as, I mean, we coined ourselves as like uh tough guy metalcore, right? Because
Yeah.
most of our music is about people talking shit,
Yeah.
right? So like most of our music is about uh just fake ass people and the industry in general and social media and just coward ass shit,
Yeah,
and that's
Let
kind
Me
of like
Out. I think Let Me Out, that's what it
Let
said.
Me
Let
Out is a
me
song. So
Yeah.
Let Me Out is about a bad acid trip.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the song is about if you were to read the lyrics. Anybody who's done LSD would kind of understand. um but yeah, I mean, that was just an idea that we came up with theme wise. We're going for like a whole we're not there's not going to be anything really, I think, themed, man. We have a lot of music that we've been making, we got a lot of feelings that we have, and we got a lot of stuff that we want to put out, and we also want to put stuff out on a consistent basis. Like, you guys can expect new music from us within the next couple weeks, and then after that probably the next couple weeks, and then we're planning on dropping music consistently all year, not even necessarily bleeding into an EP or an album, but just dropping music.
Do you think you do EPs not only to follow the uh music slash social media scape of this is how you promote your band, but you know, do you like the feeling of EPs transitioning into albums?
Nah, not really. You'll see, like, even this one, you said an EP earlier. Technically, it's not classified as an EP because
Yeah.
it's only three songs.
So that would be
The
more single, right?
Yeah, the reason that we do that is a normal industry practice
Oh,
called
just
water.
industry. It was just
It's called
industry.
waterfalling, right? So, like,
Okay.
basically what waterfalling is, you'll see that we released Checkmate in January, and we decided to release two songs at once with Let Me Out and Tat, right?
Yeah.
So essentially, it doesn't turn into an EP until you have four songs. So what you do is you drop the your ICR or your ISRC code. Oh man. Um,
ISRC one.
yeah, you drop the code in there and it re-releases again, basically with your other songs, so you can drive more traffic to the song that you just released, right?
Yeah,
So,
and then it's pretty weird how even two songs is classified as an album because of how distributors work now.
dude, it's so silly. It just really, at the end of the day, I don't believe in the whole EP album to single thing. Like, I'm a much
Because
firmer
even then, it's such an experience, though, you
I'm
know?
all about singles, man. Singles are the best return of your investment that you're gonna get until you have like all that crazy financial backing from labels, right?
Yeah,
If you have 10 songs out, then release them all out through the year, right?
yeah,
And get your name out there. And, because like the only reason you really want to drop an album is for like publications, because some people won't review it if it's not an album or an EP. But you can drop nine singles into a 10-song album and it's still an album,
right. Okay,
So,
yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out, you know?
yeah.
But in general, you do love the album experience from like when you were growing up.
Yeah, I mean, it's like for me, going to an album front to back is something that I still do pretty regularly. But like, it's a different. I have to understand that it's a different
Yeah.
world now. It's a different
Yeah,
industry.
nowadays it's
My
just
person, yeah,
singles, right?
my personal preference really has nothing to do with what's going to help us succeed. And the proof is kind of in it. And I try to tell bands that when I'm like, hey, dude, guys don't have a lot of money. You need to stretch this content out as far as possible so that you never become stagnant, right? And I preface that for what Fight has done. We played Incarceration three times, and they gave us our own headlining pre-party, right? I played Louder Than Life, Blue Ridge, Sonic Temple. Bro, we never released an album or an EP for any of those. We've done this entire 4 or 5 years on singles. We dropped our first album in October, and by
Yeah,
that time, we already played all those festivals.
yeah.
you know so think outside the box, get what's going to get you better return. At the end of the day, dude, nobody's focused on like some of these aesthetics that people put in place for themselves. All people give a shit in the industry about that are going to help you is, are you bringing people through the door and are you making money?
Right.
Unfortunately, that's just how it is, right? There's a lot of people, they're like, oh, well, I just do this for the music and I just do this for, like, cool, that's awesome, right? But like, anybody that's in this for the music and to make sure people are able to survive by making money and all this other stuff, as soon as you say, yeah, I'm not worried about making money, I'm in it for the music, well, then they just turn around.
Oh
Right?
man.
So, and it sucks because I'm also like in this for the music and everything, right? But I also got to make a living.
Yeah. The business can jade you and disorient you, and then
Yeah.
even when you play to full crowds, god damn my fucking speech.
Yeah.
Even when you pay
You're good,
even
bro.
when you, God damn, even when you play, even when a lot of guys play to full crowds, that it's almost like they're playing for nobody because they're so saturated. They're like way up here in their mind, and they
Yeah, I
and
mean,
they
it's crazy too because like people do medium-sized things and then feel like they have all this clout coming to them and like oh labels are going to be running at the door. For transparency, Fight from Within's had two songs on rotation on Liquid Metal, right? On Sirius XM. We've played six of the biggest festivals in the United States. We have four headlining runs. There ain't no labels or big agencies knocking at our door. So if you're not doing any of that, right, like you might want to bring your expectations down a little bit and just remember that you
right,
have to keep hustling.
right. So you had two songs get on that rotation, but the
Yeah.
kicker is once you bring that door down and you have people go out to see you, then you do the full set.
Yeah,
It ain't
yeah,
just that
yeah.
two. It ain't just that two songs are repeat.
Mhm. Yeah, man. At the end of the day, it's hard out here, and just remember that if you're not waking up, if you don't have the mindset where you wake up every day and you're like, fuck man, I got to work on my art, I got to work on my band, right? I got to work on my business, I got to work on this. Then less than 1% of people in the world get to live their dreams, so you have to fucking act like it. And a lot
Yeah,
of people don't fucking act like it.
yeah, and and that's what you do, man. I mean, I know you are when you do speak, you speak. I remember we talked about gratitude earlier. You speak with like full gratitude. I mean, when I hear you speak, there's a lot of trust in the team that you have, you know. You're so you're so content, you know. And when you reach that, you know you still have to work hard. Sure,
Yeah,
but like I know that you take a step back and you just it's not only like oh shit
yeah,
you gotta go to work, but like oh you always feel like so thankful
yeah. I'm
for
not
where
gonna
you
lie,
are.
man. I have an awesome team. I have a lot of people behind me. I have all these other things. I
Yeah,
have a lot of confidence in myself.
yeah, right.
And I think
It's
if
self-confidence.
artists and they look at it and you're like, dude, yeah, you can have a team behind you, you can have all this other shit, but dude, if you're not confident in yourself, if you don't
Yeah,
sit there and you're like, I'm gonna get this fucking done no matter what it takes, and I know what I'm doing and I know what I'm doing is gonna work, and you're proud of yourself, and like having an ego isn't a terrible thing. You're allowed to
right.
be proud of yourself for what you do. Being toxic about it, yeah, of course
Yeah,
that's not cool.
delusional, yeah.
Yeah, but like, if you have confidence in yourself, that's actually going to attract your team,
Right.
right? The people, if you exert a level of confidence in what you're doing, then other confident people are going to see it and they're going to attach to it, right?
Yeah.
So, and then it's your kind of job to instill confidence in other people.
Yeah. And you have, and that's what makes you tick. That's what makes your whole the cogs of your machinery tick. And even then, machinery isn't a bad thing either.
Yeah, no, it's a like, here's the way I put it. Like 10 years ago, dude, I was a homeless drug addict under a bridge. Last year, I played louder than life. And if I can do that, then anyone can do anything.
That's so good, man. I want to like wrap it up. I
Yeah,
end my interviews with like a wrap up question. Considering the career that you've had thus far, what have you learned about yourself, not only as a musician, but as a person?
I'm su- resilience, man. I'm resilient. Like there's been a lot of things that come up, and I kind of goes into it all. It's not even from the music. It's kind of from my whole journey from getting off of opiates and all that other shit that I had problems with. and coming out on top and then getting a job and getting a house and getting a car and contributing to society by having good credit and all this other shit despite everything I've been through, and then to get into music and get like pseudo canceled and like get like, fucking people hating on you and trying to tear you down. And basically I've realized that the resilience I have is a lot higher than most, right? And I feel like it's important that I don't just hold that to myself. I have to show other people that they can be resilient and that they can push through stuff, because this is hard. Life is hard in general. Imagine just throwing fucking the music industry on top of it, right?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, and you've been through so much shit between your drug addiction and also just like terrible, indifferent, like just like cold shoulder people either like ignoring you or just tearing you down. For you to
yeah.
bounce back like that, that's amazing, man.
I
Like
think it's
that's an
like, yeah,
understatement.
I think that I think that's the cool thing is since I started the band is there's never been a bounce back. Like anytime there was an issue, we handled it and we moved
Yeah,
forward and we always push down obstacles. A
right.
lot of times people get overwhelmed and they have to leave for a little while and come back. Well, once you
Mm,
do that, you're leaving your footprint in the scene where it is and you're coming back to it, and
yeah.
you have to continue growing all the time. Life is going to get hard. I try to be as respectful as possible with most people, but like a lot of people come to me and they have work that they have to get done. They're like, "Oh, dude, I'm depressed," or "Oh, dude, I'm tired," or "Oh, dude, I got a lot going on." Yeah, dude, so do fucking I and everyone else,
Yeah,
bro. You have to put your priorities in order, and if this is what you want, then there's no excuse. Dude, trust me, I get depressed too. It doesn't mean I don't do my job. But trust me, I have issues too, and I have low money too sometimes. It don't mean I stop working, right? I have there so many things can happen, right, in your life, but it doesn't make the music industry stop being a 24-hour 365 business.
yeah. You're gonna be destroyed mentally, physically, and you still, even though you're limping, you take
Mhm.
that one step
Not
because
even
one step is
metaphorically. I'm
gonna,
limping right now.
yeah, well, still, like even if it's like barely a step, barely a step becomes two, becomes three, and then you're gonna start like sprinting, man.
Yeah.
Again.
I always tell people an obstacle is going to come in front of you, and you basically you have two choices, right? You're going to jump over it or you're going to pick it up and take it with you. There is no stopping. Yeah.
You
And
get that hurdle, you
yeah,
smash.
sometimes you got to pick it up and dismantle it on the way to the next spot, right? But
Yeah,
in no way, shape, or form do those obstacles stop your growth.
right. Yeah. And that's what led me to you, man. That's why we're talking now.
Hell yeah.
Leslie, man, anything you'd like to say to your fans?
Yeah, man, I appreciate you guys all for being here and being supportive. We have a tour coming up in April, May. We have another mini tour getting announced with a really cool headliner. We're playing in their home state, and we got invited to be their support, which is really sweet. We can't wait to announce that. We got another tour coming up in August that's going to be announced with a killer fucking band that we haven't announced yet. We got some festivals coming up. So just pay attention to the socials. We're super active. Everything we got is there. New merch coming, new everything, bro. It's another year of grinding relentlessly.
Oh man, thank you so much. I'm so glad that we had this chat. I have my
Yeah.
friend I have my friend request in the Facebook. I know you have to sort through tons,
Oh,
but
let me
I'm in
check it.
there.
Well, yeah, I just gotta, I'd have to go through it. Give me a second. Yep, I got you,
Seriously.
man. You're all set.
Yeah. Seriously,
All right,
man, this
man.
has been a great interview. A lot of
Yeah, dude.
yeah, a lot of great information. I'm glad to have you in my corner.
Good, man. I got you, brother. Let's do it again.
Yeah, awesome. That's so great.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for having me.
All right, cool,
All
man.
right, brother. Yep. Have a good one.
You too, man.